As floods continue to engulf India's northeast, 18 more people have been reported killed and 400,000 others displaced in Assam. Vast areas of farmland have been inundated and over 1,900 villages submerged in the region. This is one of the worst floods India has experienced, with over 1 million people displaced. A local village, which is 2 meters above water, has become the temporary shelter for villagers. 2 death row inmates have been hung in Japan. It remains one of the few developed countries to carry out the death penalty. According to the Japanese media, the number of inmates executed this year is 7. The media was allowed to film the hanging. Under the current Justice Minister Makoto Taki, executions restarted after a 20-month blank where no people were executed. In the meantime, Chinese court has upheld the huge fine against Chinese dissident Ai Weiwei. This has been condemned internationally and is seen to have tarnished the country's human rights reputation. 55-year-old Ai Weiwei appealed to Beijing's No. 2 Intermediate People's Court against paying 15 million yuan in tax evasion penalty. This was imposed by the company he works for, called the Beijing Fake Cultural Development Limited. This company produces his art and designs. This case is seen to have been politically motivated to silence Ai Weiwei, who is generally outspoken against the Chinese government. We hear from Ai Weiwei himself.
I never imagined the court would disregard the facts this much and be so unreasonable and so insulting. Why? Because they totally disrespected the facts and they didn't give us any chance to defend ourselves and had no regard for taxpayers' rights. Moreover, they didn't even inform us of today's court session. They just informed us by phone. The law requires that they give a written statement of notice 3 days in advance, so our lawyers had no time to come. Some are away on work or in France, so we had to come as representatives to collect this. People say, you knew the result of this from the beginning. That's true. The result today is not the result we should have been given. China should be changing every day, but in truth, this is not happening. We are still living under a rotten legal system. This system cannot possibly have impartiality or justice.
Now let's look at what has been happening in the arts and culture domain. Renowned Nigerian author Chinua Achebe has published his long-awaited memoir about the Biafran War. Titled There Was a Country, it details the brutal 3-year Biafran War in which the south of Nigeria tried seceding from the north under General Odomegwo Ojukwu. More than 1 million people died during the Biafran War. But Achebe writes his memoirs from his own experiences and development, especially having lived through the conflict as a young man. The book has been published today in the UK and will be released in Nigeria and shortly on the 11th of October in the United States. Now, more on books there, where J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series, has written her first novel in 5 years since the final Harry Potter series was published. The novel, titled The Casual Vacancy, has not drawn as much attention as did her Harry Potter series. Rowling is said to be planning just a few appearances. The novel tells a story of a small town in southwest England where class prejudices are exposed. Here is a J.K. Rowling fan, Grace Proctor.
I was very keen, but I guess I just couldn't wait to have it in my hands, and then I'll read it as soon as possible, probably in my lunch break, maybe now a bit before work, and try and read it as quick as possible and then read it again, like all the Harry Potters I did. So.
Thank you, sir.
Meanwhile, critics have said the book pulls a political punch. It has also been earmarked to be a sure bestseller. However, it is a far cry from all the wizardry and potions seen in her Harry Potter series, which cemented her status as a successful writer. Philip Jones, the editor of Bookseller magazine, discusses the book.
I think this is the book she wanted to write. She's not written it for the critics, not even really for her publisher, I don't think. I think she's written it for her readers, her fan base, and in order to deliver a very politicised punch. And I think that's why she's written it the way she's written it, why she's eschewed a lot of the publicity. I think she wanted the book to speak for itself, and it certainly does. It'll be #1 next week on pre-orders alone. Then I think word of mouth will help sales grow. And then I think once people people start debating the issues that are contained in the book, it could go one of two ways. People could either love it and want to read it because it's a big deal, or sales could fall off as people kind of get bored of the political debate around it. But I think it's most importantly for her, it's a political book, an important book that I think really gets her message across.
All right, good luck with that, J.K. Rowling, and let's have a look once again at today's major headlines. Sudan and South Sudan have been in talks since last week to agree on boundary and trade issues. However, Abyei remains a bone of contention. President Robert Mugabe, Zimbabwe's president, has hinted elections will take place in March next year. This has been declared unrealistic by the opposition. In spite of mounting pressure, even from the White House, for Google to remove the anti-Islam video which sparked protests, the company refuses to budge. We found out why. Thank you for watching, and please do visit www.voxafrica.co.uk/news. Do have a good evening. Goodbye for now.